Hello, welcome to this video. Now at the weekend I decided to tidy my spare room, but in the end I didn't bother because of one thing and one thing only. I didn't know where to start. Now is them words what stop you getting on with your lawn and bringing it back to its former glory, because you look at it and you just have no idea where to start. So today I'm going to start that motion in progress, and over the coming weeks we're going to get this lawn back to its former glory. Easy to follow instructions, so as the year goes on you can have a nice lawn as well. So let's get to it. Okay, so the first thing we need to do before we can crack on with anything else is we need to clear the lawn of all this detritus. Most of all these beech husks, which drop a seed out and then they leave this husk behind. Now they're too heavy to pick up with the rotary mower, so we'll have to go on with our scarifying attachment today, which is still in the machine. So we'll do that and then we'll decide after if we need to cut it as well. But what I'll do is I'll do double stripes with the eyelet just in case it doesn't need cutting. Then we've got spraying guidelines, but over here it is quite long, so we might need to cut it. They're just a bit of interesting information. Behind me is two beech trees. Now they are the two biggest beech trees in Bolton. That is ratified by the council, and they deliver a hell of a lot of these. Not too bad this year. Some years it's really bad, but I think they grow every 2 years, and I think we're on like the 2-year cycle now, so we've had quite a few. But I picked most up before Christmas, and now we've had a load of wind, the rest are coming down, so what we'll have to do is get these up. Like I said, the rotary mower won't pick them up, they're just too heavy, so we'll get on with the eyelet and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so for those of you who haven't seen the scarifying attachment before, what it is all these little prongs on the end of this rack, and there's 100% coverage across. There's a gap, but then there's an intermediate one there which makes it 100% as we go. The little hooks, and what they'll do is they'll grab onto those husks and throw them in the grass box. Now what you'll think is maybe, yeah, the roller will press those husks into the lawn first, and they will, but the hooks on there will re-get them out and throw them into the box, so we don't need to worry about that, and then we'll get this surface nice and clean. So that's an introduction to the eyelet scarifying attachment if you've never seen it before. So if we just have a look at the stuff we've taken out already, you can see it's really detritus, I know it's not a word, but best describes what I'm seeing. Loads of beech husks come up, and because I went a bit lower, I've actually started removing the moss, so we're already one step ahead because we've taken some of the moss out which we're going to spray, so we're slowly reducing that before we've even started, which is a good thing. So what it is, we'll join you back at the lawn and we'll have a look at how it looks. Okay, so I've just done that with the eyelet, as you've just seen. You've just seen what's come out as well, so we're on the way to a better lawn. Just spotted, I think that's a daisy, it looks like a daisy off first hand, so we'll get that sprayed at some point, maybe not today because it's a bit windy to be spraying weed killers. But over here where we've got a lot of moss, you see we start to thin that out. Over here it's really mossy, so these are the areas that we're going to target. We're going to target the whole lawn, but this corner, because it's in the shade a lot, doesn't get much sun. This goes, there's not much moss over this part. This part is quite bad. Just with last year here, got COVID, didn't I, March, and by the time my bad back had finished and I'd got all my others done, I just didn't have time to do anything with this one, so it kind of got behind. And then they started with the new wall, so I couldn't really get on for a few weeks, and before I knew it, it was the end of the year, and it's just got away from me a little bit. But it's given me the perfect opportunity to get it back, which is what you want to see. So this is even more of a challenge as when we first did it 2 years ago and we got it back. So what I'll do is, I have decided, just because it's left, because there was quite a lot of moss came up, it wasn't able to throw as well into the box as I'd like, so it's left quite a trail of moss everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I am going to get the rotary out and give it a cut, not scalp it. We're not really cutting the main lawn in the main, we're just doing it to cut the longer areas over the hedge over there and to pick this up. So I'll probably do it on number 4, because if we start scalping it, we're just going to be forever emptying it, because the rotary part of the mower is just going to pick up too much moss, and we're just going to be forever emptying, and I've not got time for that because I want to get it sprayed with the moss treatment today. So in order for me to do that, I've got to be careful how much I take off. So let's go and get that out, and I'll see you back here. Okay, so just the last part of step one, we're just going to give the lawn a cut just to get rid of the rest of what's not been picked up. Just give the grass a little bit of a trim, like I said before. Not going to take too much off because I don't want to go into that moss. It's literally just take off the tips and let it know we've turned up. So let's get on with that. I'm going to go on to number 4, and then that will be job done for this, and then we'll get on with step 2. Alright, so we just cut that. Looks really good. Nice stripe. Even though it's a moss stripe, still gives us that feeling like we're going somewhere. So what next is step 2. So let's get on with that. Okay, so getting on with step 2, we are going to put some granular fertilizer on. I'm going to use my Rise and Shine today. It's an 1155 NPK with 8% iron in there just to hit that moss, as well as the liquid that we're going to put on after. So I've bought myself a new spreader as my other one was a little bit damaged, the gear had gone a little bit, so investing in a new one. They've gone up quite a lot. They used to be like 35 quid last year, the year before, now they're 60 quid, so maybe get one if you haven't got one before they go up again. I think that's like all the imports and things. So we'll get this on, won't take long, and then we'll get on with step 3, which is the liquid fertilizer. Okay, so we're just about to put that on now. It's in the spreader, ready to go. Now, as far as rates go, one bag, 10 kilograms, will do 285 to 400 square meters if you go on at 25 to 35 grams per square meter. However, today, I'm just going to go on my 29 setting. I'm not quite sure what grammage that is, but it's around 35, going off previous uses before. So I've got another bag just in case I go over, but if you haven't, what you want to do is weigh out what you need and then just go on at a lower rate of setting, like 24, 25, and do multiple passes until you've run out, and that way you know you're going to get an accurate application as well. So let's get on with it. Right, so that went on just as easy as that. I've got that much left in the bottom. I know this lawn's roughly 400 square meters. I went on at 29, I've got that much left. So if you want to go on at 35 grams a square metre, 29 on there is about right, I'd say. Not sure on the lower rate, maybe like 27, 28. But again, you can always weigh out what you need and go on at really low setting multiple times so you run out in different directions, and then you know you've got it pretty much spot on. So, time for step 3, let's go and get that sorted. Oh, and don't forget, Rise and Shine has iron in it, so if you get it on your patio or decking or anything like that, make sure you sweep it off. Don't just hose it off, because it'll just stay there and stain, so make sure you either blow it or sweep it. Okay, step 3, we're going to go on with a spray mix of iron and Galactic Green. In there I've got 800 grams of INHIBIT, lawn's 400 square metres, and we're going to go on at 2 grams per square metre, so that's like there's 800 in there. And then I'm going to put some Galactic Green on as well, which is going to give us a liquid nitrogen boost straight away, which is going to help the grass grow further, reducing that moss, because if the grass can grow, then the moss finds it very difficult too. So it's a kind of up with one and down with the other. Now that is 1.6 litres in there, 400 mils per 100 square metres, so it's nicely mixed in my tank. We're ready to go, so let's get on with it. Okay, so that's the 3 steps that we wanted to do today done. Step 1 was to clear detritus and give it a cut. Step 2 was the granular fertilizer, and step 3 was the soluble iron with the Galactic Green treatment. What all that's going to do is going to give us a lovely colour in the next few weeks once it gets rained in. As you can see behind me, the liquid iron and the soluble iron all mixed together has already started to work, so that's really good. So tomorrow this will be really black. So going forward, what we're probably going to have to do is give this a scarify, get rid of what we've controlled today, and then give it another application of the liquids, and then see how we are. We don't need to reseed this lawn going forward. This is vigorous enough to come back on its own. We might have to do a little bit around the edges, but normally they just come back as well, so I'm not too worried about that. So I hope you've enjoyed this one on Where Do I Start. So we'll join you back here in a couple of weeks and we'll have a look. But until then, stay tuned, and hopefully before then we'll be doing something else lawn related. So until then, take care and see you soon.